He's a rebel, but a rebel with a cause. He would challenge the rules and create his own, but for a meaningful purpose. Everyone has a rebel trapped in their body. Some hide it well, and some don't. Yasir's definitely over-indexed in that area, and has never been shy about it. Always fighting against the system. Conventional was not in his vocab. When he noticed the hypocrisy in religious leaders, political systems, and in a culture where words and actions were not congruent, that really messed with his head. And he slowly distanced himself from those types of people, systems, and cultures. Guess what? A rebel was born. Yasir was born on June 29, 1973, in Garden Town, Lahore. He was the eldest of the four brothers, with a unique set of goals and challenges at each stage of his 50-year journey.
Challenges was probably he was sort of confused about his personality, religion, and studies.
He was unconventional, in family, in friends, socially and religiously. He was expected to follow a certain path, but he wasn't. The disadvantage he felt was trying to make people understand who he really was.
He was always against the norm. He would always be fighting, mostly internally in his head. He won't be very vocal. He won't go out fight and or protest on things, but internally he was always fighting the system, the norm, the local norms. He was frustrated from the education system, the religious, and the Maulvi Sahib that used to come, and the way he was being taught, and the way the whole culture evolved.
कुछ चीज़ें तो मैं पसंद नहीं भी करता हूँ. हमारा कन्वेंशनल रिलीजियस होना है, वो नहीं है. वो भी थोड़ा बहुत होना चाहिए. मेरा अपना ख्याल ये था. बाकी सिर्फ नमाज से बाकी अच्छा इंसान होना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है भी है, और शायद ज़्यादा अच्छा भी है मेरे नज़दीक.
Being in touch with his brothers, his family, and being the amazing husband and father he is here. So I would say in that journey, I've seen Yasir grow as a person, as a man, in all the roles that man expects to be grown in, and he's gone way beyond that.
उसको बैठाना, उसको मैं पढ़ा रही होती थी, और जब उसको कोई उसके पूछता रहता था तो उसका दिल चाहता था कि मैं भाग जाऊँ उनके साथ खेल लूँ. He was very fond of cricket. मैंने इस पर मेहनत की, इसने भी कोऑपरेट किया, समझदार हो गया पड़ा, तो मेरे जुड़ के सारा कुछ बड़ा अच्छा हो गया. बाहर जाके वो समझदार हो गया, या अमेरिका में जाके.
How would you say he overcame those challenges?
उसने जब वो किया मेडिकल स्कूल या मेडिकल कॉलेज पे थे हम, मेडिकल कॉलेज में गया तो एक तदरीज उसको चेंज आती गई. मोर रिस्पॉन्सिबल, सोबर, कह सकते हैं ज़्यादा जिम्मेदार आदमी लगना शुरू हो गया इन मिलिट्री ईयर्स.
Sports was very close to him, to us as well. That's where we bonded, and we it made us very competitive. It made us, because we loved to win, and we were probably better off than a lot of other people, and teamwork and all that. So we kind of developed during that time, and Yasir was very good. He was a captain of the hockey team in school. He played cricket for the school team. Initially, he feared the fast ball in cricket in school, but then he really got over that fear. And he was one of the top players in whatever area and circuit we used to play, top batter.
When did you uncover that, he's a big music fan?
Oh, that's one of the sweetest memories I have of when we had initially met. Then again, it comes back to Yasir being unconventional. Dating couple would say, Yasir on Valentine's Day came up and gave me flowers and chocolate, and he gave me a cassette. And Yasir said, "This is a cassette of songs that I made just for you, and this is very dear to me." I thought, wow, okay, great. And when I played it, it wasn't the most conventional romantic love songs. It was the best songs of his band, Pink Floyd. And I played those songs, and at that time I thought, oh, this is quite different. But then over time I realized it was a glimpse of me looking into who he was.
Yasir and Pink Floyd have always been inseparable, and to be part of that amazing experience was absolutely incredible.
He won championships as the hockey captain. That fighting spirit and hard work that helped him achieve the outcomes as an athlete became his weapon in all aspects of his life. Medicine was not his first love.
He was not very keen to go to medical school. But during his matric, post-matric studies, his mother worked hard on him to make him to go to medical school. And then of his own, he has excelled after he went to the United States and became more responsible.
मैं उसको कसर उसकी जो सारी रह जाती थी वो मैं पूरी करने की कोशिश करती थी, और उसके जो टीचर्स थे वो भी मुझे कहते थे कि नहीं ठीक है, ये आप ऐसे ना फील करें, ये ठीक है बिल्कुल स्टडी में। बाहर जाके और समझदार हो गया, ये अमेरिका में जाके।
Mom was the driving force behind him to create a balance between education, sports, and music. This led to his acceptance in Allama Iqbal Med School.
No, he never wanted to. He was absolutely clear he wanted to be a doctor. He had no doubts, absolutely. And he knew from day one that he is not going to live here, he's going to go to the US. But the system was always conflicting with him. He would never wanted to be. So he wanted to be a doctor, and he wanted to be a doctor in US. And that's what he strived for. And sports really helped him achieve that, because that competitiveness, that ability to win out of nowhere, that really taught him. And he was able to convert that into his practical life.
Two other thoughts firmed up his decision about medicine. One was the death of Niaz Bhai, who was Anna's husband. And another reason was that he wanted his independence and financial freedom. He knew that medicine was the ticket to his financial freedom, and that path will eventually lead him to the US. He completed his residency at Wyckoff Heights Medical and his fellowship in pulmonary at Brooklyn Hospital Cornell. Yes, he became a doctor, but in parallel he did not give up partying. But the definition of partying appears to be misconstrued. To me, it feels like partying in Yasir's world is simply socializing with friends and family over dinner and music. When he moved to the US, he missed his comfort zone, which was his family and friends. His room was literally a revolving door for his friends as he was growing up.
One thing I'd like to mention here is Ambreen's role, his wife. Their love story started at, come to think of, good 32 years back, and fighting for her because she was Shia and he was Sunni. Not that he was anything, but yeah. So I think that was also a big conflict. And how I always thought it'll never happen because they were two different. Ambreen parents and Yasir parents, being the Jats of, Faisalabad or whatever, Jat, would never agree to this arrangement. But the guy was consistent, persistent, whatever you want to say. And from 18 till 27, 28, when I got married and he just got married post that, the guy just made it happen. It was just magic. And I think that's probably the best thing that ever happened to him.
This thing we do.
Most of us perceive our parents to be providers, so we're just basically takers. We never think about giving back. We feel like it's the duty to do so. But then there's a pivot that happens in most of the, as we grow up. I believe that happened in Yasir, that there's a pivot to say, I got to give back and I want to be with family. When do you think that happened and how did that happen?
Fatherhood changed him to the point where I guess he realized what parents and families mean even more. Uncle's illness, when Uncle was diagnosed with cancer, it totally sparked in him the sense of responsibility of giving back. And then fast forward to now, being the most extraordinary son that he has proved to be, in light of Auntie not feeling well and being ill in the last few years, by going back to Pakistan, taking care of his family, calls every single night, every single morning to his parents, taking care of making sure, being in touch with his brothers, his family, and being the amazing husband and father he is here. So I would say in that journey, father figure in his own way to everyone around him.
To his family.
Yeah.
What the son है वो बहुत है he looked after his family, immediate family तो है, his wife and kid, उनको बहुत प्यार करता है, उनको बहुत गाइड करता है, साथ रहता है, पेरेंट्स को look after करता है. पेरेंट्स से तो शायद जिम्मेदारी आपकी मेरी सबकी होती है कि पेरेंट्स को look after करना. वो पेरेंट्स के अलावा दूसरे लोगों को भी look after me. You would see everybody when it comes to Pakistan. कि चचा मामू भी अल्लाह से मिलना जो है वो बहुत लाइक दूसरे उतना केयर नहीं करते बट वो ही केयर.
और आपने जो है अब आपको कौन सी एक या दो क्वालिटीज़ आपको यासिर की बड़ी अच्छी लगती हैं जो कि आपको टच करती है?
उसकी क्वालिटी मुझे सबसे अच्छी लगती है कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा हम्बल है. वो घर में आता है तो सर्वेंट से मिलने जुलने वालों से सबसे मिल के जाते हैं. तो सारे सब लोग मेरे फैमिलीज़ के और सब लोग इसके इस बात को अप्रिशिएट करते हैं. ਉਹ दिन ਮੈਨੂੰ याद है जब आप पैदा हुए थे. आप मेरे बेटे हो. आप मेरा ख्याल रखा है. आपने मुझे प्यार दिया है.
आपके डॉक्टर बनने में और डॉक्टर असर तो ठीक ही चल गया था. आपके बनने में मेरा काफ़ी राइट है.
You're one of the few people I look up to in life, and you're definitely a role model for me. I'm thankful for being your nephew.
Going out of his way for his parents. Probably the naughty and the notorious kids we were, always on the run. And I think now he's that the inner thing is coming out. He's acting back, and he's the way he takes care of his parents comes down there. I don't know. He's there all the time, so it's pretty phenomenal.
How would you describe Yasir's achievements and the challenges that came along in his career journey?
Finishing his fellowship from New York in pulmonary, our next stop on the roadmap was North Carolina. Yasir, being a J1 visa immigrant doctor, had to do a 4-year work experience in an underserved area. That led us to an opportunity in Mount Airy. The biggest challenge there was, I guess, socially, coming from a huge cosmopolitan place like New York City, childhood in Lahore, and landing up in a small town of not more than 5,000 population, brought challenges to try to adapt to your life there, and even a different kind of a style at the hospital. A smaller town, smaller hospital entailed a different environment there. It was a town where everybody knew everyone, everybody knew what was cooking in the kitchen. You brought the trash out, neighbors would know what time it came out. But then Yasir at that time took that opportunity in the small town and decided to enhance his career by going into a fellowship of sleep medicine. That then entailed to our next stop, an opportunity that came up in Austin, Texas. Baylor Scott and White, there was an opportunity. They were building a multi-million-dollar medical hospital facility out in Marble Falls. A very small town in the suburbs just outside of Austin. Yasir took the opportunity to start and head, the ICU, the pulmonary, and the sleep side there. The challenge there, yet again, was Marble Falls being a place where it's not very ethnically diverse. Coming in there, starting from ground zero, no patient base. Yasir had to work really hard to overcome all these challenges, and which he did. to a point where right now he's has a patient base which has 4 to 5 months of waiting time. That's where I saw a different side of Yasir at the peak of his, I would say, starting to peak in his career. I've seen him in a different role as a husband, as a father, as a son, and friends see a different side of him. Yasir being someone who's always been very direct, always, wearing his emotions on his sleeve, just being, speaking his thoughts without any thinking. But the challenge of working in the hospital environment where, seeing patients with a different diverse space and dealing with the hospital administration and staff, he learned to change, to adapt. He became very diplomatically correct, politically well-spoken, became empathetic, learned to, or changed himself or evolved in where, he made that connection with the patients. He, evolved into a person who was very connected with his staff, learned how to connect with them, took care of them, was super empathetic, to the point where, he was nominated and was elected to be chief of staff. His staff loves him. Then he was promoted to division director of medical and specialty clinic, to the point where right now he is chairman of Department of Medicine. All the challenges I've seen him also connects to his achievements. And I guess that's how I've seen him grow in all areas of his medicine.
I love him, and it is good to be his father. I sometimes feel that when he was born, I didn't know he will be that good. He's excelled in his profession also, which gives me more happiness.
We've been not together for the last, 20-25 years. But somehow I think हमारी दोस्ती में कोई फ़र्क नहीं आया, और अभी जो बाकी रह गई है ज़िंदगी उसमें फ़र्क नहीं आएगा. बस एक विश है कि जब हम थोड़ा और टाइम गुजरे and we are able to kind of live together, stay together.
नए दोस्त मिलना आसान है, सच्चे दोस्त मिलना मुश्किल हैं. This is the common theme, how friends would characterize their friendship with Yasir. As some of us grow, learn, and gain experience, our value system also changes, which also impacts our friendships and relationships with people over time. In Yasir's case, again, it seems unconventional for him to also buck that trend. Because most of his friendships are still intact while he was growing up in Pakistan, when he was doing his residency in New York, and made friends when he moved to Austin.
Yeah, I'll tell you a small story. So kind of guy he is. In class 10, we had a house captain for the famous Tipu house. Ambreen and Ayman would know. So they had to select a house captain in class 10, which leased the house, about 250 kids. So I was there with him, and it was decided that I'll become the house captain. Till I got a viral infection, I got paralyzed. So that whole year I was struggling and just recuperating. And I was 60-70% when the elections for the house captain came. And obviously he was the other choice or the second choice, whatever. And the condition I was in, so it was, I thought that it would not, he would be the one, but he opted not to stand for election. He said, you go ahead and do it. So on a personal level, I think that really changed the way I looked at things, because that really gave me a lot of confidence even in that condition, and develop some good leadership skills in me. So that's the kind of person he is.
जो आज है याद आते तो हैं.
I bet when you saw Rebel in the title, the first thought that came to your mind was an outcast, troublemaker, criminals, and annoying people. Most of us avoid conflicts because it makes us uncomfortable, and the fact that we like people our own type makes us stay away from disagreements. I would argue that the rebels tend to bring out the conflict and tension to challenge the status quo, which can potentially make the world a better place. We fall in love with our own narrow perspectives, which makes it difficult for us to embrace conflicts. And rebels do exactly the opposite. They embrace different perspectives, but are also countercultural, who fight against the system and don't follow the herd. Yasir, a rebel, has shown us how to be a passionate sportsman, a caring son, a loyal friend, a philanthropist, a loving husband and a father at each stage of his 50 years journey. If you don't believe me, here's the proof.
I'm proud to be his father. I am proud to be his mother.
I'm proud to be your brother.
I'm proud to be your sister-in-law.
Be proud to be a brother.
I'm proud to be your wife.
I'm proud to be your son.
I'm proud to be your son. I'm proud to be your baby.
Proud to be your brother-in-law.
I'm proud to be your sister-in-law. I'm proud to be your sister-in-law. I'm proud to be a friend. I am proud to be your friend. I'm proud to be your friend.
I'm proud to be your friend.
I'm proud to be your friend.
I am proud to be your friend.
I am proud to be your friend.
Proud to be your friend.
I'm proud to be your friend. I'm proud to be your friend.
I'm proud to be your friend.
I am proud to be your friend.
Proud to be your friend.
And I'm proud to be your friend. Hope this documentary gave you a different perspective on the Yasirs of the world, who are agents of positive change by doing things differently. It's been a true honor and a privilege in doing this movie on a topic that's very close to home.